warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, good afternoon, everyone. How are you today? I think you all have a nice day, and I think you are so very well today. Because we have the new material about the testing and assessment. Okay? The first, we say thank you to Miss Ima, the lecturer of the LETD. And then the second is we don't forget to say Alhamdulillah to God, because today we have finished this material well. Okay. And before we will introduce our group and special about this present. Okay, I'm Anis Rohmah Hidayati. You can call me Anis. And I have two partners, and the first partner is Auliya and Afida. So we are the present, and then we are the presenter, and we have the special name, right? 3A. Anis, Auliya, and Afida. Okay, this is the first presenter. Okay, and today we have the special material. The special material is about the assessment. So in the assessment, there are three topics in this paper. So the first topic is about the informal and the formal assessment, and the second is formative and summative assessment, and the last is about the norm reference and criterion reference types. Okay, there are three topics today. Okay, please don't give up to maybe write or open your ear or open your eyes to watching this presenters. Okay, and then we will continue to this step. So this is introduce season and continue to material. And don't forget, please open your mind and open your eyes to watching this presenter.
Hello, welcome back to us again, and especially about this session. Okay, and this session is about the material, is about explaining about the informal, formal assessment, summative, formative assessment, and then norm reference and criterion reference. So this is step by step. We will explain about this material. Okay, and the first about the informal and formal will be presented by me, and then the next topic is about the summative and formative assessment will be presented by Auliya, and then the last topic is norm reference and criterion reference will be presented by Mbak Afida. So check it out. Okay, this time I will give you about some knowledge, information, or we will explaining about informal and formal assessment, and special about formal and informal assessment. Okay, the first is about informal assessment. But wait. Before continue to next, maybe you know about the difference about the test, and then the directly test. Yes, I mean no, like this. Example, an informal assessment can take a number of forms starting with incidental, unplanned comments and response. Unplanned comment and response. So you can this is what is K, yes, K note, or this is the K from this informal assessment. So you must remember about the unplanned comment and response. So, and then along with coaching and other impromptu feedback the student. So directly there is the feedback. Example like this. I'm a teacher, so this is there is student. If there is student, so I say like this. Okay, Lisa, please give me example about the present tense and positive sentence. Can you give me example? Can you give example? So the Lisa said, and Lisa can answer the sentence, basically positive sentence. So if Lisa can give me an example, so I happy, and so directly I comments directly, I respond like this: wow, Lisa, you are so great, and you are know about this sentence as different but surprising, negative and positive and interrogative and some more like this. So this is there is directly, and there is comment, and there is a response directly. So this is how to say autodidact, no, yes, so directly it is like this. Okay, and the next is, and then this is example from informal assessment, right? So informal assessment just this situation, you must know about situation and when, and so who object to answer this question. Okay, and the next is about the formal assessment less. This is have the difference about the formal assessment and informal assessment. Why? Because informal and formal assessment, this is different about the meaning, less, yeah, different about the situation or condition, yes, and the purpose that every assessment, formal and informal. Formal, informal have the meaning as an exercise or procedures, are procedures specifically designed to tap into a storehouse of skill and knowledge. They are systematic planned sampling techniques construct to give a teacher and student an appraisal of student achievement. So in this formal assessment, we are know, and we know about the purpose and ability, like, and what is it? I forget. So it is formal assessment. Formal assessment like this is, if you want a final test or middle test, this is the formal test. But there are the key note. If middle test and final test, there is step, and there is procedure specifically, and maybe you must join in this class, you must write your name in absent, in the attendance list, and then if you must sit down and you take the paper, and maybe you write this from the question, and maybe you make narration, and some maybe grammar, listening and speaking. So informal assessment is there is procedure specifically, simple example like middle test, final test. Maybe if there is the higher example, or the have the higher grade like TOEFL, and the test TOEFL and TOEFL, IELTS and TOEIC and so more. So this is there is procedure specifically, right? Yes, this is about the formal assessment. Okay, and the next, what the difference about the informal and formal assessment? Yes, there is different about informal and formal assessment. They are is informal, they are incidental, unplanned comment and response. Okay, unplanned, without plan, so directly. But informal, it is formal assessment is they are exercise, so there is procedure specifically. Informal and formal. This informal, it is unplanned comment and response, so without plan, directly. Do you give question, and there is the answer, and you respond directly at this time. But if formal, it is formal, there is procedure specifically, so there is procedure, there is step, and you must answering as the procedure. So is the formal assessment has the specially procedure, formal and informal. Okay, this is about explaining formal and informal assessment. So next to material about summative and formative, but summative and formative will be presented by Auliya.
Now I want to explain about formative assessment. Formative assessment is evaluating students in the process of forming their competencies and skill with the goal of helping them to continue the growth process. Formative assessments are evaluation of someone's learning progress in a classroom. Common formative assessment include quizzes, games, projects, presentation, and group activities. Formative assessment work accurate when they are used on a regular basis. The regularity could be based on a calendar, every Monday, every Tuesday, or your lesson plans. And the next is summative assessment. Summative assessment aims to measure or summarize what a student has grasped and typically occurs at the end of a course or unit of instruction. Summative assessments are evaluations of what someone has learned through a course. Common summative assessments include tests, final exams, reports, papers, and off-class projects. Summative assessments almost always take place at the end of the course unless teacher decide to break a course into a more manageable term.
And the next material is about norm reference and criterion reference. This is the last topic about the assessment. Okay, and the next is about norm reference. Norm reference or have the simple word like NRT. This as compared to criterion reference testing or CRT is a term coined by Glaser. It is a test designed to use a bell curve to rank tests. This bell curve has a few people scoring on the lowest section of the curve, with the majority of students clustering the middle of the curve, and a few people scoring on the high end of the curve. This is about norm reference. And the next is about criterion of reference test. Criterion reference test or CRT, on the other hand, are designed to give test takers feedback, usually in the realm of grades on specific course or lesson objective. Classroom tests involving the student in only one class and connect to curriculum are typical of criterion reference testing. So this is have different about the norm reference test and then criterion reference test. So do you know what the different about norm reference test and then criterion reference test? Okay, next bit. So like the before, it is summative and formative assessment have the different about that, and then formal and formal assessment have the different also. So this is about the norm reference and criterion reference have the different also. Okay, if we know and if we look this about the basic there are so many basic two different about the norm reference and then criterion reference. If to purpose right, it is purpose. Norm reference and then criterion reference has a different. If norm reference is rank student with respect to their achievement, tell apart between high and low grade achievement. And the next is criterion reference, and criterion reference is decide whether students have achieved the skill or not. Decide whether students have achieved the skill or not. So it is so different, right, about criterion reference and norm reference. And the next is about content. About the content is different is about content because about content it is might be purpose a person like this, and this is about content. It's about content is deal with broad skill areas with sample from a variety of the text box, and the content about this norm reference and reference about deal with a specific skill which make a chosen course of study. Okay, so about the purpose and content is different, right? It is norm reference deals with broad skill areas with samples from a variety of textbooks, and but criterion reference if deal with the specific skill which make a chosen course of study. Okay, next, the characteristic between criterion and then norm has difference. If norm reference has the wait. But the norm reference, the characteristic is their skill test on less than 4 times for item. The skill test on less than 4 items. The difficulty level varies from others. There is variety, there is criteria, and then there is item tell apart height and longest. So we can look if there is apart height or the low it is there is. But this is different with the criterion reference test. Criterion reference test is that skill test on at least 4 items to obtain an adequate sample. These all are parallel in difficulty. Characteristic in criterion is these all are parallel in difficulty. Okay, everyone. Okay, my friend, this is the difference about the norm reference and then about criterion reference. So if you have any problems, you have question maybe, or you have a suggestion, or maybe you have knowledge about this material, this about assessment, and then maybe you can add it for information in this next forum, guys. Okay, so thank you. See you for today, and this is about presentation. Okay, that are our presenting. So I don't forget to say thank you to Auliya and Afida because they are explaining about this materials very well. Okay, and I don't forget to say thank you to Miss Ima and thank you to my friend because you pay attention about this material and special about the assessment specialist topic, right? It's about the formal and informal assessment. It is summative and formative assessment, and then the norm reference and criterion reference. So I think this material can make you know about the assessment, okay, and special about that explanations. Okay, and so sorry if we have many mistakes when we are explaining or when we are presenting on maybe this is just a little knowledge about this material, so we say sorry if we have many mistakes about this, but we are happy because we can finish this material and we can finish this material about this our ability maybe just yes like this. Okay, and the last for us, I'm the Anis Rohmah Hidayati. See you next time and see you next virtual about next presentation. The last for me, and the last for us. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. See you next time.